All right, that's very wonderful. Please, let me welcome Mr. Mohammed Ahmed. You have joined us for the second time. Thank you very much for sparing the time to be part of our online discussion.
Thank you very much, Professor Shakur, for opportunity to join you guys. And I see you're doing a good job from the different participants, and everything everyone has said is just great. And just you know, appreciating the chance and wishing you a successful discussion as always. I think today you're touching a very important topic, talking about customs and traditions, and it has been quite debatable. The concept of cultures and traditions, and because it's not easy to define. If we ask what's culture, what's tradition, I think it has been difficult to define the term. Thinking,
Well,
about how it came into existence, we know it's there. We know, different people have their own different unique features, which people call them cultures and traditions. So I think for me, I think when we think about cultures and traditions, I would think of the different patterns or the different issues that define people. And people, of course, talked about the dress code. Of course, if you see someone putting on um, the Sudanese jalabiya or the Sudanese tobe, of course, these are quite identical and they define the Sudanese people. And again, also looking at food, and I see you've got a nice picture on the call in there, the Sudanese food, and looking at the porridge, what we call asida, and all those things, define the Sudanese people. Of course, you come to Kenya, you find ugali and um, chapati and the different food items, and I'm quite sure even you go to other countries, they also have different dishes and have different dress code as well. But these things have started to, of course, the role of the media, globalization. Everyone now has a smartphone. People watch TV, and basically the TV is quite focused on globalization. It's not focused on the past, but rather on the present and the future. That's why when you look at presidents, for instance, of all countries, almost wear the same clothes. Of course, there are a few who still appreciate their cultures and they want to go wearing their traditional clothes, but again, I mean, most of them wear the same dress code. That's why globalization has contributed to unify the human beings in terms of how they live their lives. We were seeing everyone is using internet nowadays. People are increasingly becoming aware of globalization, internet and media, TV, um, and this is kind of affecting the concept of culture and customs. Um, I don't think cultures and customs are important. Most of them are actually even harmful. Because if you look at some tribes, not just in Sudan, but all across the globe, they adopt quite harmful behaviors. Some of them still drink alcohol. Some of them is still willing to lose their lives just to protect their cultures. And culture does not add any money to your bank account. I don't think it's of a great importance to people to really be quite concerned about it, because again, it doesn't add anything to you as a person. Um, it only identifies you being part of a bigger group, like being part of Sudanese or being part of African. Um, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't add any value or any importance to your living or survival. We, I don't think um, someone has made $1 million for being a Sudanese, just for being a Sudanese, or made $1 million for just being an African. So it doesn't add anything to the person. As long as you are a human being, I think we have to be open to others, accept other cultures, and of course, being willing to just become a human being and exercise our lives in that way. So yeah, it is complex. Some of you might disagree with me on this, and I think I'm willing to defend my points. And yeah, I mean, people have different perspectives when it comes to this, but yeah, again, quite interesting. So I cannot see the last. It says why Africans don't like their traditions. I don't think it's about um, they like it or they don't like it. I think it's about they don't feel it's important or it's not adding any value to their lives. Being an African is not helping you, but it's rather affecting your opportunities. I mean, being like, if you go to Europe now, probably being an African could limit your chances and an opportunities in life in general. Just like being in the West, in the US, and so many other places. So um, yeah, I think that's my contribution. Happy to receive questions and continue the conversation. Back to you, Prof.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Mohammed, for this very wonderful interaction. Maybe I would open opportunities for people to ask you directly if somebody has any disagreement with your point or has any comment on that. But before that, linking our African tradition to our personality, and you have just indicated that our custom and tradition might reduce somehow or might somehow affect our opportunities and chance. As an African man who's thinking to relocate to the West, such as America or Europe or Canada, are you implying that I may be less fortunate me looking African?
You know, if today you want to go to, imagine a lady wants to travel to France, for instance, a Sudanese lady who is putting on her scarf and she's looking quite traditional, quite Muslim,
Mm.
and wants to go to France. You know, the security screening she will experience, and the social discrimination that she would go through is not like a white lady who is putting on trousers and having that blonde hair, and it's not intentional, but I think this is what they're famous for. Terrorism and crime has been associated with a certain group of people.
Mhm.
Just like being a black person is standing next to a bank in Europe, the security might come and ask you ask you so many questions of why you're standing there. You're probably waiting for someone to come
maybe
pick you
I
up,
maybe I want to
but
deposit or not even withdraw.
maybe
I want to deposit.
yeah. But the expectation is every black person is poor. Especially in those that's quite unfortunate. I think why they think that is because there's so many black people are poor in Europe. That's why they think this way. Um, but yeah, that can limit your chances if you wanna go to Canada and you are someone who is very religious with a big beard. If you go and even if you speak all the English in the world and you have all the certificates,
Mm.
that might be challenging to get a job, to learn something, and to land work, because everybody will feel scared of you. They will not give you any opportunity. So It's sad, but it is true, you know.
So I need to shave or remove my beard. As you know, see now I am growing it.
Well, it depends on what that beard means to you. I mean, if it's so important to you to the level that you can stop going to Canada, then you should just stay in Doha. If you value that beard that much, you should just sacrifice Canada. But if Canada is so important to you more than the beard, you,
I need to. Learning from your background, Mr. Mohammed, once you were in the United States, I mean, you were in the UK, uh, and you've spent some times with your name looking too much Islamic and a lot of Arabic in your name, Muhammad Ahmed. Does it affect any ways in any way of your life or your relationship with people, your practice, your walk on the street? I mean, even socially, if not something very clear. You told me that all these things are not very clear, but you can feel them. Have you noticed anything that, or at least your name has been bullied?
yeah, I mean, so many times. And I can tell you one example. As soon as I arrived at the airport, that was Heathrow. Heathrow Airport in London. The level of security screening on me was too much. Every white person was allowed to walk in too quickly, and then when they looked at my passport and it's called Mohammed Ahmed, and as you said, pretty much Islam into it, and you know, security screening, they were focused on me, and that somewhat impacted the actually, it delayed my flight because I was in the at the airport and I had to connect on another flight from Heathrow to Leeds Bradford Airport. So that like took pretty much time and delayed me. I couldn't catch up the flight. So they will not say it clearly that we are against you, because the law will protect you anyway. The good thing in these countries, they have quite a strong judiciary system, and usually you are protected if you are able to prove that you are discriminated against. That's the challenge. You cannot establish a case for you to take it to the court. So that's why people struggle, because they don't have that evidence, concrete evidence, to take it to the judge or to court or anything.
This is why also a lot of Muslims or a lot of people always act against the West in terms of custom and tradition, and that also has influenced so many people to act like Americans. If you see today, our young people, they want to put up a hairstyle like American. They want to put on clothes like America. Um, for example, Africans and Arab, we never know that our singing is like hip hop or rap. Today, it's a very funny to see a Saudi with Saudi Arabian Arab attire is singing in a rap way, or hip hop. So when you see the music and hear the person talk, it looks American, but the lyrics are Arabs, or it's the same thing for Africans. Don't you think this way, very soon, all cultures, custom, and traditions will be removed, and because they will be influenced by Americans, the whole world will look Western one time.
And I think the key to influencing cultures is the language. That's definitely step one. If you want people to be like you, they have to speak the language you speak. That's why the West is investing a lot of resources into English. And when you go to Camboni, all over, when you go to these schools, they teach English with a very low cost and sometimes free. The objective behind that is to make people speak the language first, because language is the beginning of culture shift. If you want someone who does not look Arab or who does not look African, if you want to change them, teach them the language. Teach them Swahili if you want them to look um, like Swahili speaking people. Teach them Arabic if you want them to look Arab. Teach them English if you want them to look English. And they have succeeded in that. That's why everyone now is doing English. We are on this call talking English. Everyone is trying to improve their English. And basically, of course, to open up opportunities, but um, while doing so, also influencing your background and influence your thinking. You will begin to think like them, and then you'll become, even if you don't look like them, you will think like them, and that's the shift. I'm sure they are not expecting a complete shift, like not maybe not this generation, but if they succeed to change your mentality as a parent, Shakur, now you'll think about your child, you want to raise your child in a different culture, and then that generation will just look like them entirely or completely. But I think that's a smart step from them. I don't think we can blame them. They are being clever, they're being smart. What they do, I think everyone should do. Um, and that's why they're investing resources into this. And gradually, because their culture is becoming attractive, the way they live their lives is becoming attractive. They are attracting us to their lives. They're not forcing us, they are attracting us.
Okay.
So um and that's why we want to be like them. So they're good, they're smart, they're clever. So we need to also do the same if we want more people look like us. We should stop fighting, we should stop lying, we should stop killing, we should be genuine, we should be good people to be attractive too, so that people can follow us. Yeah.
Oh, oh, that's really fine. That's fantastic. Really, thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad Ahmed. And for your record, people here who are in this who do not know very well Mr. Muhammad Ahmed, he's a very wonderful and good friend of mine. We were together, and we had he just escaped and he stopped education and he moved into humanitarian field. Now he's with organizations and something like that. And Mr. Muhammad Ahmed contributed a lot in education, especially English. Once he was the founder and the owner of Sunrise English Center, or Sunrise Education Center, in which I was actually a part. And he was also conducting a lot of different activities in the English language. So we are very happy and very lucky to actually have him, and he's participating in our English club. Otherwise, Mr. Muhammad Ahmed, we, if you don't, if you don't mind, that I have just shared some of your information to people, and we used to call him Tony. It's because of the good pronunciation that he now has, and yeah, he was for us is somebody who is young, who is talented, and is speaking English. And most importantly, he scored very high in the IELTS test, and this is also can be a motivation for people here. We appreciate your presence, gentlemen. Welcome, Mr. Malik. If you want to add something.
Okay, teacher. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really, I do appreciate Mr. Muhammad and what he has said and what he has give us good information about tradition and others. So for me, really, teacher, I have a question for him, but he left. I
No,
will shoot you by this question. Oh,
he came back, I think, Mr. Muhammad Ahmad, right?
Yes, yes, I'm
okay.
here.
Yeah, he is here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Muhammad. I do appreciate you, teacher. Let me call him Tony or teacher Tony. As you said, teacher Shakur.
Yes.
Um, as you have said before, they attract us to to their tradition. So really, I wonder why we follow others always, even if they have a good tradition. For us, also, we have a good tradition. So for you, you said it has no benefit. Also, the tradition and some others, it will not even add for us in the globalization side. So really, I do agree you here. But why we try to change our life to satisfy others if we be like what we are now? It's not acceptable to them. So if it is not acceptable to them, so let us come and round our tradition and be like an African. It's not bad, by the way. So you said they are smart and they have a good clothes and a good. There are very many or a huge things which you said. So do you think following them is good, by the way, or to be like an African and try to learn new things in order to raise our knowledge or to raise from what we are here now?
All right.
Mr. Muhammad,
Are you done with the question?
yeah, yeah, thank you. Yes, I have done.
Okay. Thank you indeed. Yeah. I mean, these are quite interesting to be honest. I think we need to differentiate between following them and following the good in them. You know, these are two different things. If you follow someone, that means you do whatever they do, whether bad or good. But if you follow the good in them, that means you just like and follow the good attitudes and behaviors in them. Um, when a Sudanese, for instance, tells you that I will do this, inshallah. The word inshallah in the Sudanese culture has been associated with not being sure about it.
Yeah,
If someone tells you, I'll visit you, inshallah,
that means he's not sure.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's just one example. The second example is um, time management
yes,
and the the ability to be um, on time on your promises. And when you tell someone that I'll come see you at 8, they will tell you 8 Sudanese time or Hawaii time.
unfortunately.
That means a lot, yeah.
Okay.
So why our culture is not attractive? I think these are just two examples, and I can tell you many of them. And why their cultures are attractive? Because of such things. Um, if people are being punctual, they're being committed, they're being honest, they will be attractive to everyone, and people would want to be like them. But if the culture is rooted in hatred, people hate each other, people fight each other, people kill each other, People lie, people not punctual, people. Why would someone follow you?
Mm. Yes.
Yeah. So we need to be good to ourselves so that others can think about following us. And and the good and the bad are not associated with any culture. Looking at all types of people and looking at all people, you'll find the good and the bad. For me, I would just ask the question of what is identity. If someone has an identity and someone else doesn't, um, what's the difference between the two people? They're both human beings. Um, they both have lives. They both have opportunities in life, and having the Sudanese identity or the Sudanese culture on someone and the other one who doesn't have, I don't think there is a difference between the two people. We as Sudanese look at it as a big difference, but actually, in terms of looking at it from the human being perspective, um, there is no huge there is no difference at all. And if if Shakur travels to Doha to Qatar, and tomorrow I also travel to Qatar, um, am I really following Shakur here, or am I looking for better opportunities and better life and so on? So let's not look at it as following someone, but following the good in the way that we're taking. If you want to become, let's say, punctual like them, um, that's not them. You are not following them, actually. You are following punctuality, and punctuality just happened to be on them. So it's not following the West. It's actually following some good characters that the West has. And I think we need to separate those two things. And tomorrow, if you feel maybe Hamdok and the Forces for Freedom and Change are the best option for Sudan, and you buy their idea, it doesn't mean you buy them as people, as individuals. You buy the idea and you follow the idea. But the idea is happened to be advocated for by certain people. That's a chance. That's a coincidence. That has nothing to do with the people. That has nothing to do with Hamdok. If the same idea is brought by Al Bashir, then you'll follow the idea. And then the idea just happened to be by someone, and then you just follow that idea. I think we need to make this difference in here to be able to know, are we really following people, or are we really following the good that just happened to be done by people? That will be good for him, because there is nothing good there's nothing good to remember. No, of course I'm kidding on this, but it's good to have memories. We are human beings. We are created out of memories and out of experiences. We cannot forget our past, and of course we cannot forget the places we saw in Sudan. Every tea maker that we sat on her chair and having that cup of tea, and every journey that you had with your friends and family, you wouldn't forget all of that. These are memories, and memories will be there forever. But if anything is not helping you improve in life, it's not important to you, and you should be willing to let it go. And and of course, look always for opportunities to grow. You are a human being, and don't waste your time thinking about the past. look forward and think about the future.
Oh, I remember it. So we have one of our brothers. He left Sudan before 10 years ago. So when he left there, he went um to Italy or Italy. So some of our friends asked him, said, Muhammad, how are you? He said, I'm okay. So how do you find that country? He said, now I'm in Ghana, where the place where we live is like Ghana or like a hell. So now I'm here. I am here, and I enjoy my life, and even I forget something called Sudan. And he started asking him again, and he said, "What about the prayer?" He said, "I left prayer there in airport." And what about your mom? He said, "I found another mom." So that's what they're funny. But that is not something I can even say for all the people which go there. But according to what you have said, following a good things is better than the following bad things. So it is one of examples which I can call them bad, but yeah, now I do recognize that there are good things and bad things. Even in our tradition, there are bad things like, as you said, time management and other things. So if we brought other things and change those bad things by others, it's good. By the way, really, I do appreciate you, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you very much. I think yeah, the people who say they have found um another mom, they have found a new life, they're just lying about that, because even if you say something, it doesn't mean it's true. Sometimes we say things that we don't mean. And that's how we are as human beings. I can say I don't care about my mother, I don't care about, but everyone would know that you're lying. Um, Maybe he just wanted to to communicate that I forgot all about you guys. I have now my new life, and that's the message he was trying to communicate. But the communication was a bit poor. He didn't choose his words carefully, but everyone would know that they're just lying about what they were saying. So I think there are so many people like that. We have to always, whatever we hear, we have to filter and see what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, because what we say is not always what we mean. Um, and yeah, I think that's how he was trying to communicate about being in Italy. And yeah, just wherever. And again, life is your life. Nobody has the absolute kind of responsibility to judge you by calling you are good or you are bad. Nobody ever, not even your parents, should tell you that. You are the one who is, especially when you are an adult. What you do is your responsibility. So again, like, putting ourselves as a judge for others and giving people the description of this person is good, this person is bad. Good is not good everywhere. Bad is not bad everywhere. Bad is good somewhere else. Good is bad somewhere else. So we need to really think about whatever we think bad in Sudan is probably good somewhere else, and it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't have to be bad everywhere. It doesn't have to be good everywhere. People are different. We are different. What we think is good could be bad for someone else, and vice versa. That's how we should live our lives. Because if we try to change, and this is what's happening everywhere, in politics, in social life, the way we raise our children, the way we choose our friends and family. We want people to become a copy of us. We want people to be us. You want someone to think like you. You want them to act like you. They are different human beings. They have their own lives. They can be what they want. They can do what they want as long as they're adult. That's fine. Live your life, accept it the way it is, and go on.